So, Mike, we went into July 1st with a lot of hope because our foundation was two of the top 5 players in the world being on our roster, and LeBron and Anthony Davis. So from there, we really thought it would go one of two directions, and we liked both directions, and we were confident about both. One would be adding a third star to those two. The other is what I would call the depth route, filling out the roster and being deep and versatile. We gave it our best shot to add a third star, and I'm so proud of the work that, Jeannie Buss led and that we did. But once that decision was made, we quickly went to the other route that we had envisioned, which is filling out our roster with depth. Starting July 1st, we didn't put all of our eggs in the third star basket. We had done a lot of planning with agents and players and their representatives to be prepared once that decision was made to strike. And you saw we filled out our roster quickly. I think the beauty of the way it ended for us, we wanted to have versatility on the roster, defensive toughness, shooting, guys with high character, high basketball IQ, and I'm proud to look at the roster and say we checked all those boxes. And then lastly, we really wanted to do shorter term deals because in July of 2021, we now have a max slot to continue to build the team around Anthony Davis in the future. So not only do we feel like we can contend and be really good for the next couple of years, but then we have flexibility in the future to continue to build. You could just go down the roster in general. I think if you look at the point guards, adding Quinn Cook, who's a catch and shoot marvel, 47% on catch and shoot threes. It's a great tool to have. Bringing Alex Caruso back, hard-nosed defender. I think he finished the season so strong. Shifting to our shooting guards, we love the defensive toughness of Avery Bradley and KCP. Just those two-way guys that can guard perimeter players that are strong on other teams. Troy Daniels, a terrific shooter, another elite shooter. And then on the wings, obviously LeBron, and having Jared Dudley come as another just smart, high IQ player that can stretch the floor. And then, DeMarcus Cousins and JaVale McGee, we just feel like they're so complementary of one another. DeMarcus is a floor spacer, great passer, can get it in the post and score. And then JaVale is just an elite rim defender and rim roller. So we just really like how things shook out, and we feel confident about this team.
Yeah, last summer it seemed like the emphasis was on playmakers, ball handlers. This summer, definitely some shooters in there too. What was part of your thought process there?
Yeah, I think the greatest way to learn is to look at history and to learn from it. And I think last year was a learning lesson in many ways for us. But we did want to prioritize shooting and opening up the floor. And I think Dudley's a great shooter. As I've said, Bradley can shoot. Danny Green is elite. Troy Daniels, Quinn Cook. So we feel like we really have lineups where we can open up the floor. I think we just really wanted to give as many weapons to Coach Vogel and his staff as we could. And I think there's so many different ways you can skin this lineup. You can have an all-defensive team if you need stops. If a team is scoring a lot, you could put Bradley and KCP and Danny Green, all defensive type players with JaVale McGee and AD, and you're long and protecting the rim inside. Or if you don't need defense and you just need a three-point lineup, you could have AD as a shooter, Cousins as a shooter, with perimeter guys Green and Cook and whoever. I mean, there's so many different ways to kind of, have different assets for different points of the game that Frank Vogel and his staff can use.
Avery, everyone in Lakerland excited to have you. 6 years in Boston. You're now on the other side of this rivalry. What will it be like for you to put on that Laker uniform?
It's going to be nice. My time in Boston was nice, but it's a new beginning for me, and I feel like this is going to be even more special. It's a next chapter for me.
Why the Lakers?
I felt like the Lakers were not only a team that, had a chance to win a championship, but just a great fit for myself. I feel like it was going to push me to my full potential. Playing with the superstars that we have on this team is going to reach me to the next level. I'm going to have to bring it every single game, and I'm looking forward to doing that. And, I'm holding myself to that standard every single night.
What excites you most about playing with a guy like LeBron James and Anthony Davis?
I think just being able to learn from those guys. That's what excites me most. I'm a guy that goes out there and I compete every single night, and I think they'll like that and appreciate that. But I want to be able to learn from those guys and how to be professional on and off the court and just in every single way. But not only them, I'm playing with DeMarcus Cousins. To me, he's best center in the NBA. And this year we text back and forth already, and I think this is going to be the year he's going to be able to prove that he's capable.
I'm glad you brought up Boogie. We did an interview with him the other day, and he looked like he was in shape. You and I were talking about that before we even started this interview. Where are you right now, health-wise? Take us through the last couple of years and the adversity you had to go through.
Yeah, when I was in Detroit, middle of the year, I had my groin injury, got traded to the Clippers. I played 6 games, shut the season down, and came into the next season, still battling that a little bit. And now I feel great. I feel like once I was traded to Memphis, I started to, catch my stride. And going into the summertime, I just have that confidence and that swagger still. And I feel great and like I'm in shape.
You and Danny Green alongside each other. What's that going to look like?
I think it's going to be great. He's a great defender. Obviously, we're 2 guys that, made all defensive teams. And I have something to prove. Like going into this year, I'm looking forward to guarding the best guard on the opposing team every single game. And I'm going to make that, my goal to go out there and make every possession hard on them. Like, that's my focus.
Avery, you're only 28 years old. 2016 is not that long ago. Your first team all defense. You're averaging 16 and 6. You're going to get back to that form? Do you feel like you can get there?
I feel like I can, but at the same time, I'm willing to accept whatever role, Coach has in store for me, or whatever role that, I need to provide for this team. I'm going to do it to, the highest level possible. And if that's me bringing that 14, 15 points a game, I know I'm capable. But if that's not what they need me to do, I'm definitely going to bring that defensive mindset every single game.
What kind of guy are the Laker fans getting in Avery Bradley?
They're getting a guy that's going to go out there and, I'm not very talkative. I don't even show that much emotion on the floor, but I could tell the fans that, I'm going to be the biggest dog on the floor every single night. I think them having me on their side now, they'll be able to see, like, my defensive intensity every single game that I'm able to bring. Is going to show all the fans that, I'm the best defender in the NBA.
Jared Dudley, you're a member of the Lakers. What does that mean to you?
Wow, it means a lot. It's definitely a humbling experience. I never thought it would ever happen. And so to be able to be part of the family and the Laker brand, man, it's excitement for me to be able to get started, man. And obviously, the goal is a championship. So anytime you have that, I mean, that should bring even more excitement. But just to have the Lakers across your chest, man, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm trying to seize it.
Now, you played with some pretty good players in your playing career. How about LeBron and AD on the same team? What's that going to be like?
I mean, that's why I signed, to be honest with you. To those two in the brand, I think it's an opportunity for us to be able to get chemistry and to make them even better. I think that's why they added so much shooting, so much high IQ and basketball savvy. And our job is to make it easier for them. I mean, those guys will obviously make it easier for us. And so for to be able to hit down shots, to be able to make the right plays, and to give them the ball in the right spots, man, and get out their way sometimes. And sometimes it's to be able to dig them out of a hole sometimes and hit some key shots at key times. So I mean, I think everyone here just wants to get started. I think most of the league does, and we'll be here. We'll be here guys are already working out here, and now it's my first time here, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, too bad it's only mid-July. I have to wait a couple more months. What's your role going to be on this team?
Whatever the team needs, and I think for my role throughout my whole career is a leader. Sometimes it's a leader by example when it comes to being professional, getting to the gym, working, mentorship. A guy like Kyle Kuzma, someone who plays my position, to be able to help him along. I've had my times with Giannis, Devin Booker, D'Angelo Russell. So I've had experience when it comes to that. And then sometimes it can be toughness. I know that sometimes it gets chippy out of there, and I don't expect LeBron and AD to be doing any of that. So that's what I need to do. If I got to pay a fine, I'll do that.
Are you kind of the enforcer?
I wouldn't call it an enforcer, because That's my job. And then energy on the bench, energy on the floor, to get the ball moving. I think this is it's a league now where offense and movement and moving the ball and communicating is at an all-time high, and that's my specialty.